Welcome to
Boring
but Effective. Welcome everyone to another episode of Boring but Effective. Joining us today, the superstar himself from 7Equity, and I'm pleased to call him a friend. We were actually inducted into life membership at our local footy club on the same presentation night in 2024. Here he is, Pete Rohr. Welcome, Pete.
G'day, Dave. How you going?
No worries. Yeah, good, mate. Good. Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Now, 7Equity, tell us what you do.
Oh, look, first, mate, to say it's a privilege being on here. I've listened to some of the other interviews and I've learned something each time. So hopefully I can bring some insight here as well. So, 7Equity, mortgage broking business. I've been around nearly 20 years. Pretty much started when my bank said no to me when I went to buy my first home, and then I met a broker and they said, let us have a look, and they got me a home, and I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. And then I got into property investing, and and the way they ran their numbers and the tricks they did, I thought, this is good, I've got to get into this. And basically property investing, helping others achieve their goals, that's where I started. So that was it. Next year will be 20 years.
Fantastic. No, that's a great story on how you got into the business. I mean, and as the name of this little show suggests, there's plenty of boring stuff you do there, but you're very effective with your customers. So can you take us through some strategies that you recommend and what the benefits there are for your clients?
Yeah, sure. I think one of my main things is it's not one size fits all. So each person comes in, it's not like hit a button, what's the cheapest rate in the market? Here's your bank. Everyone be getting the same bank every single day, but speaking to them, just like you would, what are your goals now? What are you hoping to achieve? What is your, 3 years, 5 years, if they're buying a owner occupied home, are they planning to buy investment properties, upgrade in a few years? Just looking at that kind of stuff, and then working backwards from there, looking at not just the rates, servicing. How much will the bank get you? One bank will give you 600,000. The next bank will give you 800,000 with exactly the same details. Then other things, mortgage insurance. People hate it, but it can be a very effective tool. And then, especially for the first home buyers, I say it's tough enough for me to try to navigate all the grants and schemes, and the government updates them, change the numbers, changes the names of them. So just, when someone calls and goes, where do I start? Just go through all the different schemes and which ones are most relevant to them. So that's probably where, rather than just go, hey, what's the best rate? They can find out online about structuring people's loans, finding out what's important in a loan, how they use their banking, who do they bank with, and things like that. So it's a lot about the structuring these days, not just about rates.
Mate, that sounds terrific, and there's certainly some benefits there. I reckon not only do you get the structure right, but if you get the rates and the whole kit and caboodle right, you save them thousands over the time, whether they're investing or trying to get their own home paid off.
Absolutely, and it's like every time someone goes to a barbecue and mentions that they're buying a property or thinking about investing, they'll get information from all over the place, everyone's recommendations and suggestions of how to do it and how not to do it. Look, I don't give advice, you give the advice, but I can just say what's worked for me, what my accountant is happy with and how they like to do it, and I spread it out as clear as I can, and then say, take this to your planner, go show Dave, is he happy with it? Show your accountant, are they happy with it? Because every planner or accountant has their own things that they like, whether it's using trusts and things like that, and just, run it by them. Even going through someone's A&L for a business and looking at different things like that. Self-managed super funds as well, looking into that. Have they thought about that? It's one thing some people don't even think about these days. So just going through all those things, it's fun. I love the numbers. Sometimes I get too involved with the numbers and I can start writing a full essay on it, but I've learned to sort of break it down and just, try to keep my emails and my numbers to the point.
Yeah, we are a we're both in industries where I'm not sure what we did before Excel was invented, but we love tinkering with those cells and doing our formulas and getting everything to add up nicely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's terrific. Now, you've been around for 20 odd years. You obviously got a pretty good client base there. What are the future plans for 7Equity, Pete? What are we doing over the next 5 to 10 years?
I think, I mean, 20 years, I've built up my reputation of how I do things. So I'm not going to change that too much. I think a lot of the goal is about educating people on what I do and what brokers do. It's not just about, like I said, jumping on to, Rate City and finding a best rate and going, hi, Peter, can you match this rate? So it's about the education, I think. Just go, look, give us a call. Feel free to send me a rate that you've seen somewhere, and I'm happy to go through why or why not we're using it. And look, if I think it's a great deal, I always tell the client, look, run with it. That sounds great. Go for it. But I think educating on what brokers do about structuring a loan, how important that is, especially going forward, especially so your accountant doesn't, get upset with you when it comes to tax time, because believe me, that happened to me the first time I bought an investment property and was throwing money into the loan and then taking it back out to buy stuff and then putting it back in. Yeah, the accountant was not happy with me that year, but I learned and try to teach people from my mistakes. And the other investors that I've worked with, people have got a lot more properties than I have, and just learning from them, tips and tricks they use, investing in things like buyers agents, the right conveyancer, financial planners, accountants, and just sort of get a bit of a list and educate people on what we do. And then, look, I always say, just come, have a chat. I'm not going to charge any fees. We get paid by the bank, so we don't charge. We come in, have a chat. I can tell you what's possible, how I would do it, how I've seen other people do it, take it back, take that information, and hopefully we can work together. So I think about education on what I do and what brokers do.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I can vouch for you. Your reputation in the lending fraternity is very trustworthy, and you absolutely know what you're doing. You're one of the leaders in the field, and as you explained, it's about getting it right and getting the advice right, not just giving someone the best rate and then when the bank puts the rate up, they come back knocking on your door, suggesting that you may have done something wrong. But it's about relationship building and making sure you get that right at the start. So that sounds like the future is bright for 7Equity, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. Relationship building. It's not just a transaction where someone goes in, help me buy a house, bought a house, got your deal, see you later. And then hopefully, maybe they'll call you again one day. It's about keeping in touch. Hey, rates are moving. There's a special deal here. Have you thought any more about this? And just definitely not badgering people, but just keeping in touch, just to know that I'm here whenever they need me. Flick me an email, call, SMS. If they're sitting at an auction on the weekend, I said, don't be afraid. If you need an extra few dollars for that auction, send me an SMS, give me a call, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
That's fantastic. I love your work, Pete. Now we'll move on to the fun part, if you like, of what we do on this show. And now you've probably had a bit of time to think about it. Well, let's see how you go. What's your favourite meal?
Look, I'm the cook at home. I love cooking, so I would usually say that anything that I didn't cook, that someone had cooked for me. But I think, if it was one meal, it would just have to be a steak. So, just a good steak, catch up with my mates once a month, and we try to find different steak places. So this Friday, we're heading down to 7 Alfred in the city, new steak place. They only serve one cut of steak. All your choice is what kind of sauce. So I've never tried a place that only got one steak on the menu for a steak night, but we'll see how it goes.
That sounds fantastic, yeah, and how they cook it. Although if you say well done, they'll kick you out.
I'm sure. So it better be good.
Sounds like a great plan. We all love a steak. Now, Pete, there's one person in the world that's living or deceased that's coming with you to steak night. Who's that person?
All right. So I thought about this. I was thinking about some business people I love to chat to, sporting people I love to chat to. They all had different things, but sort of what I came back to was my dad. So I'll take my dad, and it might not be for a steak. It might be for a scotch after the steak, and things like that. Like, you know, he passed away when I was really young. So it just, but still every day, like, I see things about myself that, you know, whether he meant it or not, subconsciously he taught me a lot of things. So, you know, work ethic, you know, the effect he had on other people, you know, trying to make other people's lives better, which is what I try to do by helping them with buying their first home or buying their first investment. So, yeah, just about him and find out more about his past and what made him tick. So it's probably not an exciting answer, but it means a lot to me. So that's definitely who it would be.
That's quite touching, Pete. It's an intimate story that I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that were in the unfortunate position of you of losing a parent at a young age, and but I no doubt there'd be a lot of people that would answer in a similar way to you. But yeah, no worries.
Appreciate
it. Hey, thanks so much for joining us, Pete. 7Equity is the home loan specialists, and hit Pete up if you're looking to refinance or you just want to check your rate.
That's it. Check your rate. Check what you can do. Any ideas you have about properties, investing, finance, give us a call. Drop us an email. I'm sure Dave's got all my details there. Thank you very much, Dave.
Go on, you, Pete. Catch ya.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Boring.
But effective.